Hello and welcome to the official Bannerfall plugin release explanation video.
In this video, we will be providing all the information necessary to join in on a game of Bannerfall with friends.
If you want information on how to set up the plugins as an admin, please either visit the first link in the description or click on the info card in the top right of the screen now.
This video will be categorized into 5 topics: Kingdoms and Territory, Classes, Monarchs in the Shop, the Dungeon, Arenas, Farkle, and other side activities.
Kingdoms and Territory. The world of Bannerfall is split into 2 kingdoms, blue and red, with a strip of neutral land in between called No Man's Land. Standing inside enemy territory gives you mining fatigue, and there's a 60-second cooldown between block placements to prevent excessive griefing. If you die in enemy territory, you'll drop everything except these 2 golden slots in your inventory. You'll also keep all of your armor. If you die in your own territory, you keep your hotbar, these 2 slots, and your armor. Dying in jail, the arena, or a dungeon lets you keep everything.
Classes. On your first join, you will be given the option between Knight, Mage, or Rogue. This choice defines how you fight, what you can craft, and what blocks you can use. Each class also has its own sub-pick as well: abilities for Knights, School Mastery for Mages, and what is referred to as quirks for Rogues.
Knights. Knights are the front line. They wear heavy armor with no slowness penalty. They're the only class who can craft iron and diamond weapons or armor, and they're the only class who can use anvils. Knights can also make full use of complex weapons, which are spears, axes, maces, and javelins, which are actually just reskinned tridents that you can craft, like so. When becoming a knight, a player gets to choose their knight ability, which is most often triggered by pressing C. If a knight has nothing in their offhand and is holding a sword, they can also right-click to parry. A successful parry stuns the attacker and gives you a riposte window where your next hit on that enemy deals double damage. A failed parry deactivates a player's sword for a short time. Knights can also shield bash by jumping and blocking with a shield, launching forward and damaging anyone in a cone in front of them. Finally, Knights can use Guardian's Oath. Any damage done to players on the Knights team is redirected to the Knight and halved. To activate Guardian's Oath, use any of the directional keys on your keyboard.
Mages. Mages are the utility class. When casting a spell, the player must input these Dance Dance Revolution style arrows using the arrow keys on their keyboard. Once this sequence has been inputted, the spell is primed for 5 seconds. Left click to fire a primed spell. To cast a spell on yourself, look directly downwards and left click. Mages select their spells at night by interacting with the orb. You can have up to 4 spells loaded at a time. Other players can deposit experience into the orb that mages can make use of, as only they can enchant gear at an enchanting table. Every mage also masters 1 school of magic when they first join. Choose from nature, water, air, necromancy, healing, fire, amethyst, lightning, and space. Concentration is an important rule for mages. Some spells are tagged as concentration spells, and you can only have 1 of them active at a time. Taking damage has a chance to break your concentration, with a higher chance the harder you're hit. There are over 50 spells in the game, ranging from bolt projectiles like Arcane Bolt and Power Word, to expanding circles like Air Assault and Cleansing Aura, touch spells like Invisibility, and many others with their own unique functionality like Raise Dead. We'll let you discover them all yourself, but keep in mind the trade-off for all this power is a 50% damage reduction in using swords, and heavy armor is not a viable choice for mages.
Rogues are scouts and infiltrators. They get no mining fatigue in enemy territory, their block placement cooldown is only 10 seconds instead of 60, and they have access to stealth, pickpocketing, wall jumping, backstabbing, and dodging. They take a 25% damage penalty of swords and can't use complex weapons, so they're not built for head-on fights. Rogues spend skill points to upgrade 5 different skills. You start with 13 points and each skill has its own cap. Pickpocketing increases your chances to successfully steal items when you right-click an enemy player to peek into their inventory. Wall jumping lets you jump off walls in mid-air, with 1 extra wall jump per point. Shadow invisibility raises your stealth meter maximum and the levels of light you can turn invisible in. Backstabbing makes you deal extra damage from behind and adds poison if your hit was also a jump critical. Dodge gives you a chance to avoid an incoming attack entirely. On top of skill points, rogues pick 1 rogue ability or quirk. These are more for character concepts than they are powerful abilities, but each quirk offers a slight advantage in its own way. The feline quirk does not make footstep sounds, among other things. Slimes turn full damage into upward momentum. Arcane Trickster lets you place a trap disguised as one of 25 common blocks. When triggered, it explodes with a glowing effect. The hare can sneak for 2 seconds to make their next jump be extra powerful. The Chorus Blood quirk allows the rogue to teleport to a random location when they are hit below 5 hearts. The Avian floats a lot more than other rogues, and can crouch mid-air to gain slow falling.
Monarchs and the Shop. Each kingdom can elect a monarch. Players opt into the election and a wheel animation picks the winner. Only one election runs per team at a time. The monarch is the kingdom's authority.
Yes.
They start with a budget of 10 unlocks, and any leftover gets passed to the next monarch when their term ends. Monarchs use these unlocks in the shop. The shop holds all the items which players will likely want but can't get due to the world border. But every item starts unlocked. The monarch must spend one unlock, which will allow both kingdoms to purchase that item. Once unlocked, the monarch can also spend an emerald block to reduce that item's price by 1 gold, all the way down to a minimum of 1 gold. Monarchs can also jail players. Each kingdom has 3 jail cells, and a jailed player is stuck in adventure mode with a timer that counts down on their action bar. Monarchs can grant visas, place extra orbs for their kingdom by spending an emerald block, and issue various other decrees from their command menu.
The dungeon. The dungeon is an extra piece of functionality to Bannerfall. To enter, you and at least one other player gather around the dungeon button and press it together. The dungeon teleports everyone nearby into the dungeon world for one shared run. Each player only gets 1 entry per day, so make it count. A dungeon run is 5 floors of randomly shuffled challenge rooms, ending in a boss fight on the 5th floor. No 2 rooms repeat in a single run. The whole run is on a clock. The default run timer is 45 minutes, and every death strips 30 seconds from it. If you run out of time, you are kicked from the dungeon. Your job is to try to reach
The Creaking King. The dungeon's boss's health is persistent across runs. Every group that fights it chips away at the same shared pool, and as its health goes down, its attacks get more powerful. If you reach the boss with time to spare, the leftover time on your clock is converted into absorption hearts as a reward.
arenas, Farkle, and other side activities. In Bannerfall, there's plenty to do besides fighting over territory. The arena hosts 3 kinds of matches. Mob matches put your team against 5 waves of mobs in increasing difficulty for tickets, the arena's currency. Player matches and free-for-alls are player versus player centric.
Farkle is a dice game playable solo, against the computer, or against up to 3 other players. The goal is to reach a target score, and you can wager up to 32 items per player on a multiplayer game, with all wagers going to the winner. Type /Farkle rules to see a full guide on how to play.
You can also win money from the computer, whose allowance is replenished every real-world day. The night market is out at sea and uses pearls for currency instead of gold. We don't want to tell you too much about this, as you'll enjoy exploring it more for yourself. Admins can set up games of capture the flag for their players. More information on that can be found in the admin guide video. There's plenty of other hidden mechanics on the plugin, such as horse locking, drinking too many honey bottles, evil Farkle champions who bend the rules, and canonical parkour hell. But we'll let you discover those on your own.
Thank you for watching, and may your banner never fall.